sunshine friends. Happy spring! It is officially spring now, and oh, I could not be happier. I will say it's still pretty gloomy outside, but every once in a while the sun will peek in and it makes me so excited. Flowers are in bloom, the fun spring markets are about to start, and I want to talk about my favorite spring book recommendations today. I feel like spring is one of those seasons where mood reading for me really comes into play. During the wintertime and the summertime, I'm less inclined to seasonally mood read, if that makes sense. So here are all my favorite spring recs as of right now. And if you have spring book recommendations, pop them in the comments below because I'm always looking for more books to read. So here is my pile of books that I have curated for spring reads, so let's talk about them. Starting with The Lake House by Kate Morton. Okay, this technically takes place in the summertime, so it's not actually a spring book, but for me, it gave spring vibes. We follow our main character, Alice, who is invited to this abandoned manor to help reopen a closed investigation, and because she's a mystery novel writer, of course she's like, this is great. And it goes between the past and the present of like what happened in the past, and we start to build pieces together as our character Alice in the present is building pieces as well. And I don't know, this just gave me spring vibes, and I think it's because this manor is in this beautiful grove and there's flowers and greenery and it just feels like spring to me. So take that as you will. The next is Dark and Shallow Lies by Jenny Myers Sain. This is a darker book and it's not specifically, again, springtime, but I read this in the spring. And therefore it is a spring book to me. I hope that makes sense. This is a really poor list to start. I realize that now, but bear with me. This is an excellent book. It does also take place in the summertime. So is this my summertime reads recommendations? No, I read this in the spring. This is a spring book for me. Basically, our main character comes back to her hometown in Louisiana where she spent all of her summers, and one of her old friends had gone missing, and it's a mystery, like a murder mystery. If you like murder mysteries in springtime, I would say that one. If you know me, you know I love Jenny Han, so of course I have to recommend the To All the Boys I've Loved Before series. This is a very cute YA romance series. What I truly love about this is Laura Jean's aesthetic in general. And if you haven't read the books, the movies reflect this aesthetic very well. If you need a visual, just go on Pinterest, look up Laura Jean aesthetic, and everything that this book encompasses will be shown on Pinterest. If you haven't read this series, basically we follow Laura Jean Covey throughout the entirety of it as she goes through her last 2 years of high school. In the first book, it starts off with a fake dating trope, and it just goes from there through the entire series. So it's so cute, love the romance. Again, part of my summer spring list. This book technically takes place in the summertime. Love and Luck by Jenna Evans Welch is a very cute travel novel. We follow our main character Addie, and she is visiting Ireland for a wedding, and she finds this book that basically is telling her all of this all of the myths and lore in Ireland, and she takes it upon herself to go explore these. And there is some romance in here. It's really cute. I completely devoured this and the rest of the Love and series. I don't know if this is like, if there is a name for this full series, but it's Love and Gelato, Love and Luck, and Love and Olives. And I just love the covers. They're so simplistic. Now we're on to classics. And of course, it would not be a spring reading list if I did not recommend Pride and Prejudice. I read this for the first time last year, and oh my gosh, this was my first Jane Austen novel that I had ever fully read front to back. This just has the best spring vibes ever. It's their beautiful house and how it's described with all of the flowers and the greenery. I really love Lizzie's dad in this book. Oh my god, he is probably the best character in this entire book. He is witty, he is sarcastic, but he loves his daughter so much. It's hilarious how he tolerates his wife. Just the scenery in this is adorable. They go on, you know, a little travel adventure, and the way that scenery is described is gorgeous. So this, it really does encompass the true spring vibes, and this might be the first official spring book that I've recommended in this entire list so far. So again, these are my spring recommendations, like what I would want to read during the springtime. Doesn't mean that they're specifically spring books. I feel like I definitely didn't word that when I introduced this list. Anyways, next classic is The Secret Garden. I absolutely love this book because of the spring vibes. Again, just like in Pride and Prejudice, the environment that we are in is so beautifully described with lots of greenery, flowers. As our main character, Mary, discovers this garden and exploring the world around her, it's just portrayed with such childlike wonder. This was the first classic I think I ever read on my own that wasn't for school. This is illustrated. Yeah, I mean, look at this. Flowers in the background. Look at our little character, Mary. She's all in her little dress. More flowers, more springtime vibes. I'm not saying go get this specific edition, but if you want it, I found it at Barnes & Noble. And lastly, we have Heartstopper. I don't own the entire series, but I would highly recommend the entire series for spring. This is a very cute, like, first time romance and learning to love who you are and learning to explore the world around you in hopes that it will accept you too. Our main characters are so sweet and gentle with each other as they are both learning what it is to be loved and accepted. I have mentioned before in previous videos that graphic novels are not my favorite, especially the minimalistic monochrome graphic novels. So I struggled with this from the art design perspective, but the plot was insane. So if you also struggle with graphic novels, just like I do, still go pick this up and give it a try. Look, there they are. So that is my list. Maybe we'll go to Powell's and find more spring books, because again, while these are spring books for me, they're not all actively spring books. They don't all actively take place in the springtime. They don't match the spring aesthetic that a lot of people look for. So maybe we'll go to Powell's and find some spring books. We're definitely gonna do that. Y'all, I cannot believe that I forgot this series. I cannot believe I forgot about the Anne of Green Gables series. No, this series perfectly encompasses springtime. Seriously. How did I forget about this entire beautiful series, the Anne of Green Gables? I have seen almost every single adaptation of this series. I just love the language, and while I've only read halfway through the first book, I already know the rest are going to be insane. If you have not read or watched Anne of Green Gables, go. Go enjoy. Anne with an E, beautiful. The original Anne of Green Gables, stunning. Please, go. Go, go, go. Okay, now let's go to Powell's. Okay, I decided to actually go to the library first to see if I can find any spring books to purchase because I want to support my local library. So we're going to go there first. Okay, so you know I got books, but none of them are spring books specifically. So let's quickly talk about them. First, I got The Glass Menagerie by Tennessee Williams, just because I've never read it. Then I got Gifts from the Sea by Anne Morrow Lindbergh. This seemed really interesting. It says it's a modern day classic where Anne Morrow Lindbergh's elegant and wise meditations on youth and age, love and marriage, solitude, peace, and contentment as she set them down during a brief vacation by the ocean. I am slowly collecting the Mysterious Benedict Society because this was my favorite series as a child, and I just want to have them. And then of course I got The Lion, the Witch, and the Wardrobe because I'm missing the second book, but I have read this. And I got Kitchens of the Great Mindset by J. Ryan Stradle. Born into a food-obsessed family, Eva Thornvold finds her solace and salvation in the flavors of her native Minnesota. So none of these were spring books. I am thinking I'm gonna go to Powell's just because I want to find a spring book. It was a successful haul, just not quite what we were looking for today. I don't know, this spring list seems to be harder than I thought it was going to be. Your girl got more books. And she got a sticker. Let's start with the sticker. It's Abraxos. I have to get a new water bottle. He's going on the water bottle. I also just quickly grabbed a quick copy of the Constitution. Feels necessary. Let's talk about the books that we got. First, we got The Curious Kitten at the Chibeniko Kitchen. Sorry. I don't think I pronounced that correctly. This is a Japanese translated novel. It is about this girl who is grieving her brother. She heard that going to this restaurant, it offers remembrance of the ones that we've lost. It's for fans of Before Coffee Gets Cold in the Midnight Library. That was in the spring book section. Then I got The Wisteria Society of Lady Scoundrels. This is by India Holton. It's a Bridgerton meets Peaky Blinders type of book. The cover was pretty. Do I buy books based off covers? Yes. Then I found the poetry of Emily Dickinson and decided to buy this because I really regret taking Emily Dickinson off of my 100 books list. So we're gonna put her back on. I got a book so I can actually highlight the poems that I like and come back to them versus having it as a checked out ebook where then my annotations are gone. And then I found The Sprite and the Gardener. This is a little YA graphic novel, but how beautiful. This is more along the lines of graphic novels that I'm looking for. Lots of color, lots of detail. So I'm very excited. I think I'm gonna add that to my list of 100 books to read. We're gonna go home, check all of these onto my shelves, put them on my Goodreads and my Fable. Clear that I am aware. I said I would not buy books for the 100 books challenge. I'm still doing my very, very best to support my local library. I purchase as many books as I can from there. I still check many books out from the library. I utilize their resources. So I am a big supporter of the library still, but my schedule has completely changed. I am now available for 8 hours less every day to read, which is great. The reason for this is a really good reason. But there's less reading time, and so buying books from Powell's, which is a used independent bookstore, I feel like is the second best thing that I could do for this challenge. I am aware that I am breaking my rule. These books, because they are small, my schedule has changed. I've decided that these are going to go on the shelf, and I'm going to remove some of the bigger books. There was like the Powerless series that I was gonna maybe replace with some of these. We'll talk about that maybe in the next video, but for now, we have our spring reads. My personal list, it was less spring than I thought. For me, they are spring books. They just may not be spring books for everybody else, and I understand that. That's fine. But those are my spring recommendations. I'm confident in my answer. And we got a nice big book haul. We are well stocked. I need to stop buying books. Am I going to? No. Thank you so much for watching this video. If you liked it, please show it some love by giving it a thumbs up or hitting that subscribe button down below. Both help so much, and I just love sharing my book experience with all y'all. Happy spring. I hope that there are beautiful flowers and lots of sunshine where you are. And please remember to always take care of yourselves and be kind to one another. I'll see you in the next video. Bye. Now the big question is, where do these go?